So let's give some examples here because I know a lot of times our clients will
Sure.
come to us, and this is kind of where we engage you, Karrie. They never come before change management. They usually don't come to us in the planning stage. They come to us somewhere along the failed execution stage, right? Which is we try to
Hair on
implement
fire.
a CRM, right? Or we try to do this new ERP, or we try to, offshore, inshore, like just whatever the change management thing is. It was going well, then it stopped going well. Now we wish we had a time machine and we could just redo the whole thing, right? That's usually where our clients are when they engage with us. We consult with you on these projects. Walk me through a little bit of just how important it is to do this project, whether you're before change management, in the middle of it, at the end of it, and regretting it, of identifying people into those four. Having done this a number of times,
Yes.
I think uh, if I had had this tool 10 years ago, right, the mistakes I would have never made, right? Because when I done change management in the past, your big company rollout, right? Hey, everybody, here's an hour-long meeting. We're going to show you how cool the new thing is. We're going to give you the philosophy behind it. Everyone ready? Go. But as you mentioned, people aren't the same. People don't adopt things and see change differently or the same way. So walk us through some of the clients that you've helped, how much of
Yeah.
a relief it was to identify these different groups and how that informed their strategy moving forward now that they had this data.
So we bake it in. I bake it in right from the beginning. So part of the reason that I focus on overall transformation and transformation management offices and things like that is that it's hand in glove with that program management or that post-merger integration or things like that. Heck, it's even people due diligence prior to an acquisition, so you know who people are and how to work with them as you're going through the negotiation. So the earlier the better in those cases, because you can predict how people are going to behave and you can predict how people are going to make decisions. So as soon as you can figure out where that fear is going to come from and who your advocates really, really are, you can start down the process of including them in the design. You can include them in the upfront requirements gathering so that even if the strategy is already defined, the people that will be impacted the most have a voice and have some agency in how it rolls out. So, for example, when I work with, I'll just take a large company. So, large company, big sales and distribution company, and they're going through digital transformation. And for the first part of that digital transformation is in the IT organization. As they're going through the IT organization and changing the moving the deck chairs around, roles, responsibilities, teams, things like that. At first, they were flying blind. They didn't necessarily know who was who. They swapped out the entire leadership team. As we started to apply data to people and psychology, we were really able to be much more focused and save a lot of time on the folks that weren't going to adopt and focus a lot more time on the people that were, because what we're trying to do in those cases is manage energy. When we manage the energy in those changes and we keep things moving, you don't get stuck behind inertia, and that's really your core. So what it's doing is, in that case, it cut the meeting time, the prep time, the communication time down, so that we weren't necessarily just doing one big meeting, communicate, train, roll, and then having to retrain and retrain and retrain and retrain, or it gets watered down or it fails. Instead, we were focused and laser focused on the materials, the communication, the training, and the attention that each one of those groups needed. And we got it right the first time so that they were engaged throughout the process. And it cut the typical kind of adoption cycle from, say, 18 months. And this took like 8. So it was a lot faster once people really started to take the fear out of it that came along with the ambiguity of the new process or the new way of working, which were both issues, but then also knowing that their job wasn't at risk too.
So you kind of met people where they were and walked them through side by side, but in a group, kind of in a group volume situation.
That's right.